So today we're going to be talking about Automata 2 by Between the Buried and Me. Now a lot of you guys know about Between the Buried and Me's most recent release, which is Automata 1. And I do have that album, and I thought it was fairly good. I thought it was much better than, their last album, Coma Ecliptic. And I did want to talk about Automata 2 for a bit. So this was actually something that I didn't really expect, but apparently Automata 2 is actually coming out this year, on the same year as Automata 1. And I believe this actually comes out in July, which is pretty insane. Now, one thing I found interesting is that this album only has 4 tracks on it, and which is much shorter than the first part, Automata 1. I'm not really sure what's up with that. And surprisingly, the first track on Automata 2 is actually the longest song on this album, which typically isn't the case, because typically the last track is usually the longest. Sometimes that is the case, but sometimes it's not. And the album is 33 minutes and 12 seconds long. So I think it's a little shorter, but I really do hope that this album will be good, because to be honest with you guys, Automata 1 for me didn't age too well. Like, I barely go back to the album that much, and maybe that has to do with me not being so much of a fan of Between the Buried and Me as much as I did, a few years back. But who knows? Maybe this thing will surprise me. Maybe when the second part comes out, maybe I will appreciate the album more, and appreciate them both. Just really enjoy them both for what they are. So one thing that I did find pretty interesting was I actually didn't expect the second part to come out on the same year. I legitimately thought that if part 2 were to ever come out, it would come out in a few years, whenever Between the Buried and Me gets around to be releasing their next studio album, but no. It comes out on the same year as the first part, which is pretty interesting, and I'm glad that we don't have to wait so long. Yeah, this is interesting news. I think that's cool that the band is doing this. I know some of you guys might be kind of new to the band, but actually this isn't the first time Between the Buried and Me had a first and a second part, because a lot of you know, if you guys have listened to Between the Buried and Me's other music, you guys know that there was a part 1 and 2 to the Parallax albums, but part 1 was actually an EP, but part 2 is a studio album. So it's not really their first time doing this, but it is their first time releasing 2 albums in 1 year. And that's another point I want to bring up. Are both these albums going to be considered 2 separate albums, or are they just going to be considered one album, just in separate parts? I have no idea what's up with that concept. Maybe the band will come out and address that sooner or later, but I have no clue. But yeah, I just wonder too. I'm just wondering why they didn't just wait to release the entire thing at once. Instead of making Automata 2 and Automata 1, of course, why couldn't they just wait until the summertime to release both? Just the album by itself. Have all 10 tracks together and just call it Automata. I don't know why they didn't do that, why they decided to make a 2-part album. I have no idea. But this is interesting stuff, and the album cover looks pretty cool as well. I still do think I prefer the Automata 1 album cover. I think it looks a lot cooler than Automata 2's, but Automata 2's album cover is pretty decent. But yes, guys, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this release. I'm hoping it'll be good. I'm gonna listen to it, of course, when it comes out, and I'll also review it. And yeah, I'm just really curious to see how this album turns out. I really do hope it ages better than the first part. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll just leave it at that. So thank you so much for watching. Take care.